Yeah, good morning, traders. I'm just looking at the Aussie USD at the moment. Some interesting things going on here that I see with the after the G20, and risk assets seem to be improving. However, a couple of things here I want to point out. On this chart in particular, this is the weekly chart. We've just had the G20 meeting and had some kind of positive response, which meant the Aussie gapped higher. Incidentally, it gapped. I was short this pair. It gapped higher, took it to exactly the level I had my stop loss, took it out, and it's been falling pretty much ever since. So once again, that's 2 weeks in a row, and I've nobody to blame but myself for putting my stop loss too low. But anyway, we've got a strong downward trend here. Everything's down. The Jimmy R is bearish, showing 2 bars of possibly changing to bullishness, but that's only those 2 weeks there. We're into the 3rd week at the moment, so I'm not going to put a lot of emphasis on that. Most of what I see, this is still bearish. Okay, so what I'm seeing is on this channel, it's all pretty bearish. We got that trend line down. It's been respected 1, 2, 3 times. We're getting up close to it, and it's coming down again. I'll go down to the weekly, down to the daily. I'm sorry. You'll see here on the daily that we're oversold, overbought. I'm sorry, and rolling over. We've, like I said, we gapped up here. I had my stop loss just up here, just right there, right on the end of the candle. I took it out. So we're about to roll over here, which may indicate some bearishness. As you can see here, it's been cycling quite well. If we have a look here at the bottom of the cycle, and it started to turn up, we had a bullish move up. At the top of that cycle, we had it roll over, and immediately down she came from the top of the cycle, and down to the bottom of the cycle, same thing. Now we're at the top of the cycle. So, these currencies don't always, none of them have excellent good cycles like that all the time. But that does occur occasionally, and this is cycling quite well, especially in this current time of the year with North American vacation and all European northern hemisphere. So activity lessens quite a bit. So sometimes there's a lot of ranging going on, and that appears to be what we got going on here at the moment. I'll get rid of that. Got enough blue lines there. So that's what I'm seeing there. This is a standard deviation channel. This is just another channel which I had over this, but it got too busy, so I put it over here out of the way for the moment, because I want to show you something here on the 4-hour chart. So here's our 4-hour chart. I'll just step back one here. As you can see, so this is 0.5 of a deviation, and that's, if it's 0.5 of a deviation, that tells me that it's right. That's quite a strong rise, bullish rise there, which is, you don't have to be Einstein to figure that out. So I've taken the standard deviation from the bottom here to the top of that last candle. Now what we've seen, it started here, and it's gone mostly in the bottom part of this deviation up to the top. It was quite bullish here along the top, but since these 2 tops up here, from the top we've come down to the bottom of the standard deviation, back up the top, and rode the top section through quite well. Then it's dropped back down, so all of a sudden we're staying in the bottom half of the standard deviation. That suggests to me that we're losing a little bit of impetus on this move. Now this is where it gapped open and took it out, and down she came. On this one, we've also got a bearish stochastics signal here. So this is suggesting to me that we might be having a turn. Now what I'm going to then, because I'm still bearish the Aussie dollar, I can only be bearish the Aussie dollar. I don't really see much reason to be bullish. So another thing I'm going to look at here, which is why I had it open before. You see this big red candle over here last year. That was another G20 meeting when when Trump and Xi had another meeting, and once again they had this really positive. They had some really positive meeting, and they came out there all happy, smiling. I remember this because I tried to trade the close the gap and then go further north, but it didn't. It opened and pretty much just sank all the way. So that's what that did that time, and it appears to me we might be getting the same reaction here. So this week here it closed here, then it opened right up here after the weekend meeting and then just dropped like a rock for the next 3 weeks. Okay, it didn't drop in that but it dropped for the next 3 weeks. Here, the gap up is not as dynamic. It's much smaller, but that might be indicative too of the fact that there wasn't that much drive towards it. Because I mean, at the end of the day, what do they agree to? They agreed to continue talking. That's all they agreed to. So there's nothing. It's positive in the fact that it wasn't negative, but there's not much to go on. So now we're moving down. So I'm thinking that for the rest of this month, we may be looking at more bearish movement. And what would that give us? We're at the M3. We opened at the M3 weekly and monthly. So that would suggest this move here that I've got marked in here actually. Now I could move this now across to here. Excuse me. Sorry to blow your eardrums off like that. So that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment for this month. Maybe a double top, also off the 21 there, the 4-hour 21, so perhaps that might be bullish in the medium term, but if we get down to the 55 here and for a double top, or even down to the weekly M2. But at the moment, that's what I'm looking at for this pair. We've broken out of this medium, haven't broken out, I'm sorry, it has moved below that medium line, and it has bounced back off the 21, but we'll just see where it goes to from here, because I'm looking at it now based on all that information that I'm looking to go short this pair. So that's my take on the Aussie USD a few hours after open. Thank you.